Video, I'm going to tell you what you need to know if you are going to be interviewing for a data engineer position or even for a customer engineer position in related to the database field. These are core questions you should know and be able to answer. I recently had an interview and this is exactly what I was asked, and I was able to ace the interview because of this specific information on this page. And this is the credits for this goes to Priyanka Vargadia. It's a very good book if you need to learn more about Google Cloud Platform. It's called Visualizing Google Cloud. I highly recommend this book. And let's get started. So the first thing you need to know about databases is that there are two kinds of databases: relational database and non-relational database. You will be asked to explain what is a relational database and what is non-relational database. So relational databases have the organized structured data fields into columns and rows connected by keys, and you use SQL to interact with them. Whereas non-relational database is more for unstructured data, right? And where the data is stored in key value forms or a wide column large data set time series table, right? So what does this mean? What actually does non-structured mean? Unstructured means the data is simply not just rows and columns. Within a column you might have more information. You might have a JSON or specific kind of a formatted information within one column. So there's really not like a row and a column relationship. That's not like there is one key and then there's a bunch of columns related to that key, right? This is the key value. The values could be multiple values, and then that's exactly large amounts of data with simple lookup queries is what it allows. So another thing you'll be asked is give some examples of a relational database and non-relational databases. So you need to know what is an example of a relational database. On the Google Cloud Platform side, it is Google Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. These two are relational databases, and you should also know whether they are managed or not. So if you have used MySQL in the past, then Cloud SQL is a very good equivalent of that. And similarly, there's also Cloud Spanner, which is also a managed relational database by Google. Now, on the non-relational database side, we have three. That's Memory Store, Firestore, and Cloud Bigtable. Cloud Bigtable is a big one. Cloud Bigtable is an example of a wide column database. And also you need to know when to use them. Again, you need to know which one is OLTP and which one is OLAP. So you need to know that transactional use cases and general purposes, you would use relational databases for those. For analytical use cases, you would use the OLAP, which is OLAP, you would use the non-relational databases. You can also do OLAP on relational databases, but most frequently it's used in relationship to non-relational databases. And you also need to know these two acronyms, the acid like ACID, and what is base, BASE. So this is a very good example here. And you might also be asked to explain consistency, right? What is consistency in terms of relationship to a database? So you might have to say, what does this mean? Consistency here means that only valid data is served in a relational database. Inconsistency for a non-relational databases is eventually it gets consistent, because there is a factor of horizontal scaling, and it is more for large data sets. You do not have consistency is not guaranteed in a non-relational database, and this is why you use it in cases where it is not very critical, but it's good for analytical use cases, right? And the scale and availability, when scaling and availability is more crucial than consistency, then you can use non-relational databases. Otherwise, you would have to rely on relational databases. And basically, this is just one page, and it has so many questions and so many things you should know. You're right. So you should be able to say what is relational database. Relational database is organized structured data fields into columns and rows connected by a key, whereas non-relational is unstructured data in any of the forms. Like, it could be in memory, or it could be wide columns, or graph databases, or large amounts of data with simple lookup queries is what it is. So hope this video was helpful, and definitely continue watching my videos. I'm also going to be explaining what is Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner, and I'll also go into non-relational databases one by one. So thanks.